certain things that I haven't been able to see previously, like on the TV, which was all blurry. Now to be able to see a bit, to read the menu on the screen, and when I'm watching YouTube videos, which is pretty much all the time, um, I can see people's faces, and I remember when my visions first started getting better, and I was looking at the same sort of people time and time again, and slowly but surely their faces turned from what was very angular and ugly. This is the best word I can come up with. Everyone just looked ugly, to absolute beauty.
Sean, how did you find carnivore?
Hi, Dave. My carnivore journey, starting from the beginning, would have been hearing Jordan Peterson being interviewed by Joe Rogan and the mention of the carnivore diet. Um, and then at some point, I had a thought in my mind, and I'm not sure where it came from, but it was basically that arthritis is caused by inflammation, and inflammation is caused by sugar. And which is a great tip. Thank you, universe. So I looked up anti-inflammatory type diets, landed on the keto diet, which slid fairly quickly into the carnivore diet. And essentially that's how I found it, Dave.
Right. And how long has it been now that you've been doing carnivore?
Sure. So I started on the 11th of June 2023. So it's now been about 18 months or so. And
Mm.
loving every day. That's for sure.
What is it that keeps you going? What kind of results have you seen? We've spoken before, so just kind of if you take it up until the last time we spoke, like what is it that kept you on that time?
Hmm. So I started for arthritis. That was my main problem, other than my bad eyesight, which I'll get into a bit. Um, so the arthritis was pretty bad. I mean, I couldn't walk across the road with my guide dog without being in pain and needing to stop. Say after 50 meters or so, I could press in on my right hip, and it felt like someone was putting a needle in. So just pressing in was terrible pain. And that was there 24/7. I'd wake up in the morning, if I'd been lying on that side, with pain, and I'd have to lie on my back for a while just to deal with it. And the pain was in both hips, mostly my right hip, but I had radiating pain up my spine, across my shoulders and my neck, which I'd had since about 2016. So the 2016 was me waking up one morning going, "Oh, I've got a bit of a sore hip," and I blamed it on the bed. I was walking the dog, my old guide dog, and it's just painful walking. And then sort of in 2019, I went to some doctors and some specialists. I tried them all: physiotherapy, chiropractic, osteopath, acupuncture, scans, imaging, the painkillers that went along with the diagnosis of arthritis, which was tendonitis and bursitis. I tried cortisone injections, which did help a little bit in the spine, but not in the hip. So that was my starting point for doing that. Within 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, the sugar addiction went away. The withdrawal was pretty hardcore. I didn't expect it, and at that time, my vision was pretty bad. I was not able to do anything but talk to the phone and sort of randomly press on things to try to do research on the diets that I was interested in. So initially, I did a lot of learning, but I had not come across any of the major influences. I had not come across the, uh, the doctors, that's for sure, and now I know them all. But at that point, man, it was just because everything was getting better, and I'd heard about this carnivore diet, and just kept on going, and things were improving and more improving. And it was, I stopped snoring. I stopped having, and this is interesting, gurgling tummy. I've always been one that after a meal or any time really, that I'd have this noises gurgling in my inside me all the time since a young boy, really. And all that gurgling went away, which was quite a relief. And other things have improved, and I'll touch on those. But within that same 3 weeks, I noticed my eyesight had improved. It was quite noticeable. Things were looking a lot brighter, a bit more colourful. And because I was doing the research on the phone, I was looking at the same sort of things consistently, and I was noticing a little bit more on the phone. Like, for instance, when I first started, I didn't know there was comments. I couldn't read the comments. So I couldn't hit the like button, let alone the like button on the comments. And so I went to an optometrist, and he confirmed that in my right eye, I got a test result of 6/30 -2, and in my left eye, hand movements, which is great because 3 years before that, in 2020, I did an eye test, and I got no chart results, no hand movements. So an improvement from the 3 years prior was quite remarkable. So they found cataracts, and I did a few more tests, and eventually got the cataract done very quickly. It was on the 16th of August. So 16th of August, after that, vision kept on improving. The numbers kept on improving. I got testing done every 2 to 4 weeks in quick succession. And then sort of relaxed it a bit. And this year I've been doing it every 3 months. But the first test result after the cataract operation was a 6/21, and another one after that was 6/18. Another one after that was 6/15, and by October, December last year, I got a 6/12 -2 in my right eye. And still hand movements in my left eye, which didn't have the cataract operation. I only got the cataract operation done on the right. The test results were great, and speaking with ophthalmologists this year, they did not expect, or they do not expect, any vision improvement past, say, 2 weeks or so with the cataract operation. But my vision continued to improve. Which is obviously, it's definitely resulting from the diet, removing carbohydrates, number one, and removing that inflammation, that oxidation. So moving forward to 2024, I started with the Lion diet in January. I noticed some vision improvements. I thought, okay, I'll go for a test. And I went to a guy who I'd seen previously, and he actually commented during the time that he didn't believe me that I was getting these improvements, because I was sending him the improvements from the optometrist after the cataract operation. And I got a one-letter improvement of 6/12 -1, and then so that was in February. So then in May I did another one that was 6/12, was another one-letter improvement. And so that catches us up to June 11th, 2024, this year, when we spoke last. And I was pretty ecstatic at that stage, because I've been able to, not only on the phone and on the TV and on the computer, see a lot more, and in real life. But being able to do the research and just validate what I'm doing is a real thing. It's working for other people. I've come across so many people on your channel, Dave, that have said, "Oh, my vision's improved with this," and that, with their having to adjust their prescriptions. or not use their glasses at all in certain circumstances. So it was very encouraging to be able to do some commenting and some liking some things. And I think at the time, I was talking about when I last spoke with you, I was talking about starting my own YouTube channel, which I did. I've now got 313 subscribers. I've done 20 something videos, all relating to my vision improvements, and stuff. It's some videos to do with our domesticated pets and our industrial pet food supply, which I think was probably the root cause of my last guide dog getting cancer. And this guide dog obviously is on the carnivore diet. And the videos I've been doing is with Dr. Tom Lonsdale, who's a 50-year plus veteran veterinarian and a whistleblower in the pet food industry. So if you want to check out my channel and the videos that I've been doing, that's Eyes on Carnivore, and just check that out.
So just to clarify, you were legally blind. You mentioned
Since
the guide dogs
2006.
since
Yep.
2006.
Yep.
So this is kind of an astounding result, right? Because you don't really hear about people being legally blind and then being able to improve their vision.
No. My condition's called retinitis pigmentosa. I was diagnosed in 2006. I quit my job as a computer dude doing a lot of writing software in 2008 because I was making mistakes and I had some insurance which I wanted to claim and live out the rest of my life with my vision, with the diagnosis and from the doctor. There's nothing you can do. There's no cure. There's no prevention. There's no treatment. And same goes with the arthritis. Really, I mean, that was a pain in the neck. And both things basically, Dave. I've cured the arthritis, the anxiety and depression, the heartburn, the high blood pressure, constipation, the sleep apnea. Although I wasn't diagnosed sleep apnea, I was snoring. And a few other things. But this vision improvement, even though I've come across a number of people that have said, "Yep, my eyes have improved, my floaters have improved," I've not yet come across someone with my particular condition, which have had remarkable improvements. And I'm going to have to tell you a bit more about the improvements since I last spoke to you in both eyes, which is quite exciting.
So what has improved since the last time we spoke?
Since last time we spoke, my vision has improved. I did a test in August, not long after we spoke, and I got a 4-letter improvement. So the result was 6/9 -1. So it means that the line before was the 12 line, and now I'm reading on the 9 line. I got 4 letters on that 9 line. So to get a 4-letter improvement, it just, I mean, I was blown away. And in fact, I mean, I went to the optometrist for this one, and I just wanted him to check for floaters because I still have floaters. I had a lot of them previously, and I didn't really. There's still floaters there, but he did the eye chart test, the visual acuity, and four letters more, Dave. I mean, that's incredible. But here's another story. So that's August. In October, October 14th, I got my other cataract done in my left eye. So that this eye is the one that is terrible. It has not been able to see anything on the eye chart. It was not able to do hand movements realistically, but after the cataract operation in my left eye, I did get a bit of improvement. So the official score in my left eye is count fingers. So, how many fingers am I holding up, sort of thing. And I'm not sure if I did that particularly well, but since then in my right eye, things seem to have improved as well. So about a month after the cataract operation in October, in November, I had a follow up with the eye surgeon, and he basically, so I did the eye test, right eye. I got another 2-letter improvement. So that makes the score 6/9 -1. So now I'm on the 6 line. So there's 5 letters on the size 6 line, and I got I got one of those letters on the size 6 line. So to get a perfect score is 6/6. So I'm on the 6 line. If I get 4 more extra letters, that'll be a perfect score. Yeah, 2020 vision. Going from having no chart results to some years later having almost 2020 vision, or 6/6 it's called in Australia. I'm blown away. I really am. So that's my right eye, and so I will discuss more a bit about my left eye. So left eye. In August, so I had this cataract operation in October, but a couple of months before, in August, I noticed there was like a mesh. So if I close my right eye, look out my left eye, it's like looking through a fly screen. Like there's a mesh that I'm seeing in my left eye, and it wasn't very pronounced to start off with. But I got in touch with Dr. James Mukey, which you've had on your show. And Dr. James Mukey, if you don't know, guys, he's an ophthalmic surgeon. He's also very much a low carb advocate here in Australia. So, I got in touch with James, and he has sent all my records that I've collected since 2006, and there's quite a few of them. And he sent those to Professor Robert Casson, who's one of 3 of the top ophthalmologists in Australia. And in fact, I'm going to see the number 1 guy early next year to get some more testing, some more imaging done. So in this left eye, seeing this grid, and if I describe it as a mesh or a grid or a scaffold, it might sort of congeal with the idea that what I'm seeing in my left eye is repair. So I've been using ChatGPT AI to try to figure out some of the symptoms. So one of the symptoms I have is the floaters, which is slow arcing white light, or they could be purple, white light that goes across your field of vision, which is debris floating around in the vitreous. The thing that I have in my left eye looks like a mesh, and the research finds that it could be the amacrine cells or amacrine cells. So if you like, your retina consists of photoreceptors, rods and cones. The cones do color, the rods do nighttime and movement. The central vision, your fovea, is mainly cones, and it also does the accuracy, the edge detection, and being able to see very small, fine things. So, and I guess if I roll back a bit, in the past, I've been told that what I'm experiencing could be, and I'll say this right, biofeedback fixation, which is a technique to use your non-foveal cells, more your rod cells, to be able to see better. So by mere fact, what I'm seeing is more color and greater edge detection and greater detail means it's actually the cone cells that are. I'm going to have to use repairing because I can't think of any better other word to use, and so that rules out that entirely. So the retina cells, rods and cones. Then you've got bipolar cells, you've got horizontal cells, you've got amacrine cells, amacrine or amacrine, and then you've got the ganglion cells, which ultimately go to the optic nerve. Um, so what I've found out is these amacrine cells could be responsible for the flashing. So this constant flashing is this other symptom I have. Flashing occurs between 10 and 50 hertz, so flashes per second. Um, the, uh, the the oscillation is more the effect, is what I'm seeing, is the turning on and off, interference, if you like. So I see constantly flashing lights 24/7 with my eyes open and closed, which is obviously very distracting from being able to see stuff. But generally, I'm trying to look through that flashing. I'm trying to also now look through this grid. So I've found myself when I'm looking at stuff, especially the TV, I have to squint a little bit with my left eye just to rule it out. Whereas in the past, I think my brain sort of made my left eye zip, sort of move in sort of out of field of vision when I'm trying to focus hard with my right eye. So the research that I found, and a little bit of a history with myself, I've been dealing with stem cells for a number of years since 2011, where I had a stem cell treatment myself in America, and so I kind of know when some of the stem cell technology involves a mesh or a scaffold, which they then place stem cells that have been differentiated into the right type of cells, the photoreceptor cells, I guess, for retinal tears. So what I think might be happening in my left eye is I'm actually seeing these amacrine cells self-orient and space themselves out themselves, which they've seen this action in a petri dish. Um, so with stem cell research, so it's possible that I'm actually seeing repair in my left eye occurring in real time, which in itself is pretty remarkable. But I'm yet to find out further from Professor Bob Casson and Dr. James Muki what that could be. And I might be able to track that down a little bit further early next year when I get an ERG test with Dr. John Grigg, who's the number one guy in Australia, which I mentioned previously. So that's about the
Wow.
size of that, Dave.
Wow. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's great that you're going to be able to, well, you are, and you're going to be able to consult with the top people in Australia on this.
Yeah.
Um, so can you kind of paint this image for us about what your life was like, say, 2 years ago? Your day-to-day life was like 2 years ago versus what it's like now. What's changed? Like, can you be more active? Uh, what's kind of easier, and what has changed for you?
Right. 2 years ago, I have to shake my head. I don't know how I did it. I was suffering really bad with anxiety and depression, and I'd had social anxiety for a long time. I'd often avoid going out with, when there's going to be crowds there. I did it. I found myself socially awkward. I found myself maybe too talkative. Um, so I guess trying to compensate might be the best word. So when you compensate for something, you're trying to tell people, oh, I'm all good, I'm fine. How are you? I'm great. Put on the big cheery face. But yeah, if you press me a little bit further, I mean, how are you really? It's like, oh, life's a drag. I get to the end of the day and I'm absolutely buggered just by doing the washing. um, I just did not have the energy. I couldn't. I couldn't realistically do things that I can do now, but I struggled through. As I say, overcompensating and catastrophizing on things. So if there was a problem or something that I'd have to do, I'd plan ahead. Like, like I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. And if everything, all the dots didn't line up, I mean, I'd have to bail. I'd have to, not do things. So now that's entirely changed, Dave. My outlook on life's improved. Not being in pains is immense. That's enormous for me because it was dragging on. And I'm going to all these doctors. They're saying there's nothing you can do, and that you probably need a hip replacement when you're old enough. So, well, yeah, I didn't expect having a hip replacement, and now I realise that I not only do I not need a hip replacement, I can run. I've gone from not being able to walk across the road or do stuff to being there's a treadmill just behind me. I can sprint on that thing 16 kilometres an hour. I can go as fast as a treadmill. the amazement that I have just on a daily basis, having the energy, being able to see certain things that I haven't been able to see previously, like on the TV, which was all blurry. Now to be able to see a bit, to read the menu on the screen, and when I'm watching YouTube videos, which is pretty much all the time, I can see people's faces, and I remember when my visions first started getting better. And I was looking at the same sort of people time and time again, and slowly but surely their faces turned from what was very angular and ugly. This is the best word I can come up with. Everyone just looked ugly to absolute beauty, and you'd be able to see people's expressions, to admire their teeth and look at their eyes, and I'm not taking the whole everything in at once. I'm still looking through a fairly narrow aperture, if you like. But everything's just changed. My attitude to life has changed. I no longer catastrophize about things. I'm looking forward to the future. Whereas, I didn't have anything to look forward to. I'd lost hope. I was going to be in pain, getting crippled essentially, and going blind or even blinder than I was. And life, I thought I was going to have a heart attack at one point because I was having problems with nerves in my leg that were vibrating, doing weird stuff. Again, doctor did not have a clue what that was all about. And I think, Dave, doing this. So I've started my own YouTube channel. As I said, I've been doing videos. I've been getting great feedback from people thanking me, and I started a Facebook group called Eyes on Carnivore, and I've had a few people sort of join and tell their story as well. And just knowing there's a community out there has brightened my spirits. I'm not a lonely old blind guy, and I'm now part of a community where we're healing. And we continue to heal. It feels like that's what's happening to me. My degenerative vision problem seems to be regenerative, renewing, regrowing. There's no doubt about the test results. And Dave, if you could put the test result up on the screen for me so people could read. The first one's in August. That was 6/9 -1. That was the 4-letter improvement I got from not long after speaking with you. That was with an optometrist. But the second one that's on the screen perhaps now is from the ophthalmic surgeon. And so he did a test before I had the cataract operation very early on in my journey last year. And he recorded a 6/60. So he's gone from a 6/60 to a 6/9 +1. That's it. So he's basically said, I've had this improvement. I'm attributing it to the carnivore diet because there's no other reason for it. And um, and he also mentions my mood, which is quite nice. I thought, he's noticed that I'm obviously very, 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 very happy about all this improvement and very chatty about the carnivore diet, indeed. So yeah.
Nice. So you just reminded me of something I'd like to go back to that you mentioned earlier. One of your doctors at some point said, "I don't believe you." What was that in relation to?
Right. Um, so before I had my cataract operation, I had three tests. So the first one's the optometrist was a 6/30 minus two. And then I went to this guy who's a
Mm-hmm.
PhD. He only works, I think, one day a week, and he's got the OCT equipment. So I went to him, and he got a 6/48, and then the one after that was with the surgeon that got the 6/60. So when he saw me last, it was 6/48, and I'm sending him the test results from the optometrist. So essentially, what he's saying is, I don't believe the test results that you're sending to me. Now,
Right.
you can take that a number of ways. He's either trying to say, well, the optometrist must be wrong, or somehow you're fudging the results, which is both ridiculous. I mean, why would I do that? And how would I do that?
Right, right,
I'm
right.
vision impaired. I'm not a graphic designer. Dude. So yeah, he did the test and went, oh, 6/12 minus one. That's a remarkable improvement. And he admitted he didn't believe it. That's the story.
Your ability to do stuff on the computer, that must have improved now that your vision has got better.
Yes. So the computer that I was using previous, or still am, is a Linux computer. I was writing software, and I preferred to use Linux than Windows or Mac. I do now have a Mac and a Windows computer. So the vision's improved greatly. I I noticed the most improvement on the phone because it's a lot smaller, and for whatever reason, seeing fine detail is much better. So on the Linux computer, I've got it set up so it talks to me, and I can magnify things. So it's been one of those. It's been the only device that I've continued to be able to use the whole time. Albeit pretty pretty badly. Trying to find the mouse is still a problem, but when you spend 5 minutes trying to locate where the mouse pointer is in order to click on something, and then I've just lost it again, and then you have to try to find where you're going to click on, where's the point, and try to. It's really difficult. So that aspect in itself, not being able to see a little bit better on the computer is great. But being able to locate that bloody mouse pointer, I tell you what, it drives me crazy sometimes.
Right. But those things are getting better, right? I mean, like when we started, before we actually started recording, like you could clearly see the messages that were on screen and that kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, I'm here by myself today. I'm not using the Linux computer. I'm on the Mac, so I had to transfer the link to here through Facebook. I did it, and then I got the link up, and I go to Chrome because I prefer to use Chrome with this StreamYard thing. Um, I had to unmute the mic, check my name, and so mate, it's all improved. The what I basically wouldn't have been able to do it before because I'm still not very familiar with this operating system. But yeah, like I said, the Linux one I've just got it set up so well that it can do almost anything for me. But so the change is quite a lot.
Yeah. Nice. Um, so how are you eating day to day?
Sure. So most days it's one meal a day. Some days I have a second meal. So I explain, one meal a day is usually between 2 and 3 p.m. That's when I feed myself, when I feed my guide dog, Semi. Semi's on the raw meaty bones and loving it. And if I do feel hungry in the morning, which sometimes I do, it's usually about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or something like that. I'll have some eggs, or I think yesterday I had breakfast. I had two meals. Both of them was 3 pieces of tenderized steak, and for both meals. What I eat is always beef and lamb, lamb, beef, that sort of thing. The I do love having eggs, which I do have with butter, but I have noticed that dairy does cause a little bit of blurriness. Um, so I try to avoid dairy. And I actually hosted a function over the weekend, Dave. I cooked up for just over 30 people a carnivore meal for church. I had a bunch of oldies eating the old carnivore sausages I had made up by the butcher. But yeah, no, eggs, beef, and lamb primarily, and occasionally I'll have some pork ribs. Occasionally, I think I've had chicken like 3 times in 18 months. Once a week, I try to get to the shop and get some fresh oysters and crustaceans, whether that be Balmain bugs, Moreton Bay bugs, crustacean, or some prawns, or both. Um, yeah, that's about it, really.
So what was the reaction of the 30 people that you had round to just meet and knowing that you eat only animal products every day?
Yeah. So these are the people from church. I started going at the start of this year for a few reasons, but I think one of them was to give thanks. And I kept on going because there's this massive stained glass window there. I should say, man, it's just, this thing's beautiful. And going from when I first started going, it's like I couldn't quite make out what was happening. But then after a while, I realized there's people in the stained glass window, and there's words, and after a while, I'm reading the words. I can see what the pictures are. I can make out what's going on. So I've been telling people about what's going on with my eyesight. They're all suitably impressed, I guess. So I thought, well, let's I'll host a brunch and do a speech and tell everybody that hung around to listen up for what I have to say, because it could help other people. Was the motivation, and they were all really really happy about it. Man, I got a few hugs, I got some thank yous. I had one person come up to me, and she was talking about her husband, who really sounds like he really needs some help. So I think I got my message across, and they all loved it. I had quite a bit of leftovers because I overcatered for 50 people. There's only 30 people there, but yeah, I gave some away for the next door neighbours and some friends and family. So it all turned out really well.
Oh, nice. And it's good to be able to just introduce it to people because there might be that one person there that, as you say, needs some help that, you could change
Mm.
their life, right?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think I've been sending emails to the father, the minister, and being quite poignant with my suggestions that he can help people. Because I'm presuming as a minister, he's going to be coming across people that obviously need some spiritual help, but also might need some physical or mental help. Um, and he might, if I can just get him to if I can just hook him in. I haven't had too many bites yet, but he's listening, and I think there's great potential for this community, because a lot of them are older. They're fairly open minded. that I've noticed. So yeah, fingers crossed. There might be some help for those people. But yeah, I've made it very open to people, my friends and family, and anybody I talk to about this. And yeah, it's generally very well received.
So Sean, how can we find you on YouTube and how can we get in contact?
Right. So I've done most of this by myself. I can't do the video editing or anything. That's way too hard. So the YouTube channel is called Eyes on Carnivore. Go check it out. Um, I had an interview with Kerry Mann just recently, Dave, and I announced with Kerry that any money made through the YouTube channel will be donated to the Healing Humanity documentary. Um, so I think I need to hit a few milestones before I can get monetized. So guys, go to Eyes on Carnivore channel, like, subscribe, comment. You know the deal. There's a Facebook group called Eyes on Carnivore. You can check that out. I joined Twitter, Eyes on Carnivore, Instagram, Eyes on Carnivore, and my Facebook page is Sean Scott. So you can find me all through there. If you want to send me an email, that's eyesoncarnivore@gmail.com. Yeah, so Eyes on Carnivore, it's everywhere.
No worries. So I'll link to all your socials and your email below. Thank you so much for coming back on and sharing your story and such good news, Sean. Really appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
thank you. And I did a video just in appreciation of yourself. I know you've probably seen it. The video is called I Appreciate You. That goes out to all the carnivore influencers. And yeah, check it out. There's a montage there of a number of people that are basically saying the same thing as me. Eyesight's improved, eyesight's improved, eyesight's improved. I think yeah, it's worthwhile checking out. It's quite humbling to know there's people like you, mate. It's well done.